We're in Hemang Jani's views as well. And Hemang, good morning. We're just marking out the Samvat to Samvat gainers. And on the Nifty, Tata Motors, which Kunal flagged off, 61% has been the gain. L&T has gained about 55%. Bajaj Auto has done very well. ONGC and Naresh's favorite, NTPC, have also made it to the list with a 42% gain. What do you believe is going to be the next strong bet within the large caps from this Samvat to the next?
Yeah, good morning, Awan. I think, when we look at last year, clearly the mid caps and small caps were the winners. And yes, we may have certain outliers in the large cap like Tata Motor and a few auto names. But the fact of the matter is that the real action has happened in the broader market. So I think going forward, if you were to take a 12-month view, I do think that you may see a little bit of a catch up when it comes to large caps. But in terms of big action, again, it's going to be the mid cap and the small cap category. When it comes to themes, I think one theme which is clearly emerging is the NPFCs, where the lending is happening with some collaterals, because we've seen some stress come through when it comes to unsecured lending. So I think some of the housing finance companies, something like LIC Housing, Five Star Finance, and that entire rural focused companies like Mahindra Finance, Shriram Transport. I think these are the names where you would see a shift happen from the by the investors from unsecured lending. I think so. This could be one interesting space to watch out for when it comes to next year.
Aman, my limited point is that today, we may just be saying, okay, you add the word, you add the prefix PSU or you add the suffix PSU. That stock is done well. I mean, I have no folks who bought that, okay, what should we buy in the PSU space? Doesn't matter whether it's a power company or a defense company or a bank or whether it is into even, railways. As long as it had PSU, as long it has, Government of India holding, those stocks in 2023 or this Samvat year gone by, I think have done exceedingly well. Look at it. I mean, a fertilizer company, hello. 5 times. RVNL, not the really greatest of the business in terms of creating shareholder, in terms of return ratios. IRFC, REC, Mazgaon Dock. While there is a lot which has changed in the PSU space, and I think a lot of wealth has got created. And this is absolutely in recognition of what the potential of some of these future businesses which are driven by government capex and government drive to really create value via the PSU space, I think is extraordinary. So some of the mid-cap gainers are from the PSU space. But next 6 to 8 months, Hemang Jani, it could be that election vacuum. Decision making may come to a stall. The central election cycle could be at play. So let's say starting from April till May end or April to June end, you may actually see a delay in decision making. Orders will not come out. Big projects may not be awarded. Everything in a sense because of the cycle may just be on a back burner. So what happens then?
So, Nikunj, if you recall, last general elections, before the election period, in fact, some of the PSU names actually started doing pretty well. This was across, whether it's OMCs, power, and whole host of companies. So the stock market movement is not necessarily driven by the order inflow or what kind of performance do they deliver, but it's more driven by what kind of government would come in and post that, what kind of reforms or expectations built up which is around that. So it's more of a sentiment driven thing. So I think having seen a very strong up move across PSUs, I do think that valuations performance is, somewhere there needs to be a bit of a stability there. So I would not want to chase that. I think you have whole host of companies outside PSUs, both in the large cap and the mid cap space, where I would be more comfortable getting into, because this result season has been so great, Nikunj, where you've seen a little bit of okayish top line growth, but whole host of companies have delivered margin surprise. And that has come as a big positive surprise for all of us.
You want to come in on Reliance, Hemang?
Because, typically you go through a certain phase that some of these large cap companies are going through, be it HDFC Bank, Reliance, and maybe to some extent Bajaj Finance kind of companies. But the fact is that when you look at Reliance, the two businesses, the Geo and the retail, they continue to deliver. So I think the moment you see some sort of action in those categories, with some sort of impending demerger, etc., there is going to be a lot of excitement. So yes, those momentum players, they may not want to get in at this stage, but if you are an investor, then this is probably the time to get into Reliance because of the risk reward being so favorable.
All right. Hemang Jani, let's get some Diwali ideas going from you. I mean, one large cap, one mid cap, one small cap. And be specific in terms of large cap, mid cap, small cap, where you have, let's say I give you an option that you have only 3 chances. 3 stock. सोच समझ के.
Okay. So when it comes to the mid cap category, I like this capital market wealth related theme. So I certainly would go with the 361, that IFL Wealth. I think the way things are happening in terms of the wealth services, you are going to have about 3 4 bigger companies, and this being the largest, I think there is going to be a good amount of fee based revenue growth that is going to happen along with the AUM. So 361 is something that we like when it comes to the mid cap space. Small cap, I would suggest a high beta name. It's Bajaj Hindustan. I think sugar has been a theme for a while. And because of the past issues, the company today is quoting at around 30 32 bucks. But the way things are going in terms of sugar pricing, the inventory, co-generation, ethanol related things, I think Bajaj Hindustan would be one to look at. Of course, it's a high beta a company, so one should be a little careful about that. And when it comes to the large cap companies, I think we should go with Tata Motors. Nikun, everything is going for this company, whether it is premium luxury space, EV, the transformation in terms of their SUV portfolio, margin guidance. So though the stock has been the best performing stock, that does not mean that next year the company will not deliver. I think this being a dark horse, a high beta name, I think I would go aggressively on Tata Motors.